Welcome back. 2 years ago, the militant group Hamas launched an attack on Israel that killed 1,200 and took hundreds more hostage before escalating into a tragic and gruesome war that has roiled the international community, even as talks of a potential ceasefire have heated up in recent days. And joining us now is Israeli Consul General to the Midwest, Elad Strohmayer. Mr. Strohmayer, thank you so much for coming back. We met you about a week ago. First of all, I want you to reflect 2 years ago. Well, where were you on this day, and what was your reaction to what was unfolding?
So 2 years ago today, I was at home with my husband. It was 6:30 a.m. We didn't even hear the first siren that woke most Israelis to alert that there are rockets. Our families called us to let us know that there are rockets. We didn't even comprehend what happened. But I actually tell you a story where I was 2 days before October 7th. I just got back from 5 years posting in Washington, D.C. in September 2023, and I wanted to meet a friend that I haven't seen for a long time who lives in the Gaza envelope just around the border, and he invited us to his house on October 7th. But because we just returned, we didn't have a car, so I borrowed a car from friends, and we went on October 5th to visit him and his wife and his daughters. And
in Gaza?
On the border with Gaza.
On the border.
And
okay.
Just 2 days before the October 7th attack, I'm walking around the streets of kibbutz Nahal Oz, a kibbutz that was severely attacked on October 7th. I saw the border with Gaza. I saw the beauty of this community. And then on October 7th, when everything started to happen, I'm contacting my friend all the time, and he's in the safe room with his wife and 2 daughters. He cannot answer. Yeah. Terrorists roamed their houses. Many of them neighbors were killed or kidnapped. One of their neighbors, Omri Miran, is still in Gaza as we speak, being held hostage by Hamas, one of the 48 hostages. So every Israeli has a personal connection for that day, and it was painful. We're still in October 7th. Israelis still experience October 7th today.
Yeah, and talking to most American Jews, especially supportive of Israel, that's a sentiment I hear a lot. But you do see lots of protests today put on by Palestinian groups, pro-Palestinian groups, including there was a small one outside the Israeli consulate. What kind of message does it send on this day, knowing how sensitive it is for American Jews, versus, having a protest on any other day?
It's not just that it's today. It's their protest in general, but as you said, today specifically, they have the nerve to demonstrate on this day, the day that Israel was attacked. On October 7th, when terrorists roamed Israeli communities and slaughtered Israelis, there was not a single Israeli soldier in Gaza, not a single Israeli airstrike at Gaza. Already people took to the streets here in the United States, here in Chicago, and blamed Israel for genocide. There was not a single Israeli soldier in Gaza. We were being slaughtered and lynched by mobs and by Hamas terrorists, and we were blamed. The victim has been blamed for genocide. And that's what they have done since October 7th, and they're doing it today. It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting, and they're trying to change the narrative. They're trying to change history, and we won't let them. And if you look at the demonstrators, even today, outside of our consulate, which flags did they wave? They waved the Hezbollah flag, Hamas flags, the Houthi flags, they wave Iran flag. These are organizations that are terrorist organizations designated by the United States. They don't care for the Palestinians. They just want to change the narratives, and they support Hamas, which is a genocidal organization that seeks the destruction of Israel, and they say, kill all the Jews. That's in their charter. They say, Idbach el Yehud, kill the Jews, not just Israelis.
But in the 2 years since, the international community has grown, I would say, more critical of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, given the way that he's executed this war. And international law enforcement, UN, the international criminal courts have held him in contempt. Does he deserve, you believe, this level of international scorn, given the way how many Palestinians have died as this has progressed?
There's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to dealing with Israel and the way people accuse Israel of things. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. I will be the first to acknowledge that. And we might have made mistakes in this war as well. And that's one thing. But the problem is that we are being judged for a higher standard, a double standard. And people say that we violate the international law, that our government violates the international law. I'm sorry, they don't know what they're talking about. That's just blunt accusations against Israel. Every time that we're about to attack in Gaza, we alert citizens that we're going to attack because we know that there is a Hamas stronghold there, and we ask them to leave. Hamas is preventing them to leave because Hamas wants to see the number of casualties being blown up. They don't care. They don't have any regard for Israeli life or for Palestinians' life. They want to see that. They operate inside hospitals, inside schools, because they want to see civilian casualties over there, and they also make up the numbers. You know, when they bring out the numbers, every time that it's reported about numbers of fatalities in Gaza, these are numbers reported by Hamas. Most time the media doesn't say, they say it's the Gaza Health Ministry, but the Gaza Health Ministry is Hamas. And we know that many, I sometimes say half of the numbers are terrorists. They're not civilians. So they make up the numbers, they prevent Palestinians to flee for their life when we alert them. No other country is doing what we're doing to protect civilian life.
Let me ask you about these talks on a ceasefire. President Trump unveiled a brokered plan that we believe Prime Minister Netanyahu has agreed to. Has he agreed to all of these, or just some of them in principle?
We accepted Trump's 21-point proposal. More importantly, not just...
And it would free the hostages.
And it will free the hostages. That's the most important thing. We demand it can all end today, as we speak right now, if Hamas lays down its arms and release all the hostages. As simple as that. It can end now if Hamas is doing these two things. We've agreed, but more importantly than we agreed to that, all the Arab world has agreed to that. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, Jordan, Egypt, some countries with diplomatic ties to Israel, some countries without diplomatic ties to Israel. Everybody agreed to this ceasefire proposal. Israel has agreed. Now the ball is in Hamas court. They need to agree. It can all end right now. Now I ask you, we talked about the demonstrators. Why they're not urging Hamas to accept this plan? Why they're not calling for, they call for ceasefire now, but all of a sudden when Donald Trump issued a plan that was accepted by Israel in the entire Arab world, it's not good enough for them, and they don't put pressure on Hamas. That's hypocrisy.
Let me ask you, we have about a minute left here, but there's always been a very strong strain on the far left that's been critical of Israel, pro-Palestinian. But in recent months, we've seen a lot of far-right influencers in America, like Tucker Carlson, curiously really amp up their rhetoric against Israel. Do you believe it's an honest feeling in terms of the way the war is going, or is there something else going on here in terms of influence in America?
We live in dangerous time. Anti-Semitism is rising its ugly, ugly head, and we need to say it very clear. Anti-Semitism is anti-Semitism, whether it comes from the right or whether it comes from the left. We need to condemn it and not politicize it. And honestly, I don't care if there's someone influencing people and making that an issue right now, or it was something that was there all along. We need to fight anti-Semitism. And I want to say very clearly, we're in a very unique time in history, and history will judge us. Where did we stand at this time? Were we on the moral right side, or did we support a terrorist organization, a genocidal terrorist organization that perpetrated a genocide, tried to perpetrate genocide against my people, against Israel, and they said they would do it all over again. So we need to fight that.
Obviously, this is a terrible situation that hopefully there are talks that progress. Elad Strohmayer, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.